good, y'all? Welcome back to a brand new episode of the cringiest and weirdest videos from all over the internet. Without further ado, let's get to the video. Hope you enjoy it.
Why are people claiming to have proof that Epstein is still alive? And what the hell's it got to do with Fortnite? Well, ultimately, people are claiming that they have linked one of Epstein's real emails to a Fortnite account that is being active after his death. And when this started going viral, that account was immediately made private. Pictures like this also started circulating at the same time, claiming to have found Epstein walking around in Israel. Problem is, those pictures AI generated. And as for Epstein ripping Fortnite in the Big 26, problem is it does contain a lot of correct information, which is what makes it so misleading. It all starts with a real email that he used and a real username that he seemingly used for YouTube. Both of these are from the DOJ files themselves. There's also this real email 3 months before he died saying that a $25 charge was for V-Bucks on Fortnite. So people putting all of these things together wanted to see if he had an account on Fortnite. And lo and behold, Little Saint Jeff 1 was a real account. The account showed that the player was active during Chapter 2 Season 1, which was only released in October 2019, 2 months after he died. There were also claims that the account was logging wins all the way up to 2025, but I cannot confirm that because when I went to go and look, this account has now been set to private. But there's two main reasons why this is probably not Epstein's account at all. Firstly, there is no evidence that this active Fortnite account can be linked to Jeffrey Epstein's email, because as we can see, the only email indicating that he did have Fortnite himself is this email, and the address that it was sent to was redacted. And two, there are actually multiple users on Fortnite with this exact username, like this one, for example, in Turkey, which is not private. There's also no way of knowing when they set their username to Little Saint Jeff 1. They could be trolling and have just done it after the files released. So fortunately, it doesn't look like Epstein is playing Fortnite while the world is combing through his emails.
I mean, let's be real here. Obviously, someone like Little Jeff is gonna play Fortnite. What else is he gonna do other than the things that he already did? What do you expect the weirdo to do? Obviously, he's gonna play Fortnite. Fortnite was made for people like him. I hope y'all don't play Fortnite, because if you do, don't watch me. No, but for real, though, the whole thing is weird. I think we all know this, you know. And you add Fortnite to the mix, it's even worse.
Here are some reasons why Juice WRLD might still be alive. Juice WRLD actually predicted his own death in a tweet. His tweet from 2017 says, "My goal is to get overly famous, shine for a couple years, then fake my death." In Juice's song, All Girls Are the Same, he sings about John Lennon. John Lennon was actually assassinated by one of his fans on December 8th, which is the exact same day that Juice died. And this video shows someone who looks extremely similar to Juice hiding his face. He also mentioned his death in one of his songs, singing "We Ain't Making It Past 21, which is crazy because when he died, he had actually just turned 21. This TikTok trend would have people stop halfway through dancing to Lucid Dreams and experience a seizure. And what's weird is this trend was before his death and Juice was killed by actually having a seizure.
What is he talking about? John Lennon was assassinated by one of his fans. Juice WRLD was seen at Walmart. Proceeds to show us TikTokers throwing up milk. The whole thing is messed up. I don't want to see this ever again. These things aren't even linked together. John Lennon and Juice WRLD. Man, I don't like none of these rappers, to be honest. And
This is the only way to survive if you're buried alive. First, you're gonna want to try to stay as calm as possible. And whatever you do, don't panic. Also, you need to slow down your breathing so you don't use up whatever little oxygen you have. Next, you need to find something hard like a rock or a belt buckle. Now you can use this to bang on the coffin and make some noise. This way, if someone happens to be walking by, you'll catch their attention. If this doesn't work, the next step is to use a sharp object to make a hole at the top of the coffin. Once you made the hole, you need to push the dirt underneath you, and then you can start to make your way up. And if you've been buried recently, the dirt should still be soft, allowing you to escape to your freedom. And please don't start asking how I know this. You really don't want to know. Okay.
Every single one of these steps are worthless. Once you're buried alive, you're dead. All that pushing and rolling and squeezing and twerking is not gonna work. R.I.P. Hopefully never happens though. I'm not wishing this on anybody, but like, come on now. Roll, twist, and push. Get out of my face.
Okay, who made this? Seriously? They look nothing alike, but you know who Vecna does resemble? This guy right here, Tales from the Crypt Keeper. We used to call him Doggy when we were little. Look! They're twins, identical. So many people are terrified of Vecna too. They're like having nightmares about him. They think they see him through the window. But this is who told us bedtime stories in the 90s.
Our story is about a man with nobler ambitions.
The only thing that would terrify me about this individual is a voice note from him, because that voice is a little too creepy.
I saw a means to realize my potential, to transcend my human form.
This man impersonated his mother for 3 years, hid her body in his house, and all to collect her pension. 82-year-old Graziella lived in northern Italy, and on November 16th, she went to renew her ID in person. When she arrived to the office, the worker that helped her noticed that Graziella had a lot of hair on her neck, a deep voice, and what looked to be a beard visibly showing through the heavy makeup she was wearing. They thought, this woman doesn't look like her old photo, so immediately the worker called the police, and they reviewed the surveillance cameras and noticed that Graziella arrived at the office in a car. Yet, she never had a driver's license. Police then confront who they thought was Graziella and were shocked when they discovered that this person was actually Graziella's 56-year-old son, who was also a former nurse and currently unemployed. It turns out this man has been impersonating his mother since her passing in 2022, and all to collect her pension, which was a total of $93,000. Now, this isn't the craziest part, because when Graziella passed away, her son hid her body in his home, wrapped in a bedsheet and a sleeping bag. It's still not confirmed how exactly Graziella passed away, but it's believed that it was natural causes. But I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't, and her son had more to do with her death. Now, one of the most common questions people have is, how did this man go 3 years convincing everyone that his mother was still alive, and how did no one ever notice or even check up on her?
Welcome to the year 2026, yo. We got grown men cosplaying as their mommies. Who would have thought? He probably killed her, to be honest, just so he can be her. That's a weird type of love, to be honest. Very weird. On to the next one.
Most disturbing photos ever taken, part 1. This woman was planning on marrying a man that her mother didn't approve of. A few days later, she disappeared. Most people assumed she had run off with her lover, but that wasn't exactly the case. 25 years later, the police in the area were tipped off that she was actually being held captive by her mother. When they entered the home, they found the girl bound and starved. She had been in the attic for 25 years. After this young girl was rescued from a concentration camp in Poland, she was asked to draw her home. Most of the children who had been rescued drew themselves with their families before the war had been started. She, however, could only scrawl chaotic, random lines. In 2005, on New Year's Eve, a young woman was drinking in the catacombs below Ukraine. She became lost down there, stumbling around in the dark. Her body was never discovered until this group of teens supposedly stumbled across it.
If you ever see this, you need to run fast. This thing might not look dangerous, but if you get too close, you might be in some serious danger. This one is crazy. Make sure to follow and like so everybody can see this. Believe it or not, this is one of the most dangerous animals on the planet. This ordinary shell is actually a cone snail. They are one of the most venomous and toxic creatures on the planet. If you ever got stung by one of these, all it takes is one sting to paralyze you. So be careful next time you pick up shells at the beach. Make sure to share this with a friend so you can keep them safe.
My man's is talking too much, to be honest. Be careful, this is one of the most dangerous animals on the planet. Man, get out of my face. I'm moonwalking all over it, backwards. It's not gonna do anything to me. It's a little red rock. I'm stepping on it, jumping on it, and like I said, I'm a moonwalk on it. It's not gonna sting me. Or maybe I'm just being cocky. Like, imagine I'm saying all this and end up being poisoned by one of these. Man, I don't want to manifest it, but come on, who looks at this and gets terrified? It's nothing. It's a little dumb snail. I want to fight it.
Moon landing was not fake. Let me explain. So since NASA is aiming to land astronauts back on the moon again by 2028, I decided why not debunk all your conspiracy theories, like one of them being it was fake because the flag was waving, meaning it's proof that it was filmed here on Earth. However, that's completely false, because the flag was specially designed where it had a horizontal rod at the top which it was being held up by, and the reason it looked like it was waving, well, it was simply because it was movement from the astronauts moving the flag. Yeah. Nothing fake there. Next, another reason why people think it's fake is because there's no stars in the sky. Well, it's because the moon photos were actually taken during the daytime. The cameras were set for bright sunlight, so the stars were too faint to show. Remember, no atmosphere means a black sky during the day or night. Finally, the last reason people say it's fake is because of this footprint left on the moon and how it looks nothing like the footprint from the suit. Well, it's because it's not the footprint from the suit. They were actually wearing boot covers. Yeah, nothing fake here.
Imagine being hunted in your own home by strangers who have no reason to kill you. The movie Strangers follows James and Kristen, who retreat to a remote vacation home after an emotionally tense night out. What begins as a quiet, uncomfortable evening quickly turns sinister when a strange girl knocks on their door in the early hours of the morning, asking for someone who doesn't live there. Though it seems like a simple mistake, more knocks follow, then the power goes out. Soon the couple realizes they're being watched. 3 masked strangers begin stalking the house, silently appearing in windows, inside hallways, and just out of sight, turning the isolation of the home into a trap. The terror escalates from psychological torment to outright violence as the strangers toy with them, cutting off any chance of escape. When Kristen finally asks why they were being targeted, the attackers chillingly reply, "Because you were home," revealing there was never a motive at all. Inspired by real-life break-ins and the fear of senseless violence, the film builds dread through realism and silence rather than gore, making it one of the most unsettling home invasion thrillers of its time. If this sounds interesting to you, then go watch the movie Strangers now.
This girl started to suspect that her dog might be a skinwalker. It began with small things, strange movements, an empty stare, and a low, unsettling growl. But then it became truly disturbing. She decided to test an old legend and poured a line of salt in front of the door. Her dog, normally the first to rush outside, suddenly stopped and just stared at the salt. Then it slowly turned around and walked back into the house, while the other dog calmly stepped right over the line without hesitation. In another video, the girl says the story gets even darker. She was filming when she suddenly noticed her dog standing at the top of the stairs, just watching her. But that made no sense, because the wall beside the stairs was far too high for the dog to climb up there. And the moment she realized it, the dog vanished in an instant. That's when she decided to test everything one last time. She placed the dog inside a circle of salt. If it stepped out easily, everything would be fine. If not, then it wasn't really her dog. She called to it softly, using the same gentle voice she always did. Any normal dog would run straight to its owner, but this one didn't move. She offered its favorite food. She even opened the door to let it outside. Nothing worked, and then the terrifying realization hit her. It wasn't that the dog didn't want to leave the circle. It couldn't, which means the real horror was much closer than she had ever imagined. What do you think? Paranoia, or a sign she was living with something that only looked like her dog?
The issue here is not the dog, it's the owner. It's that lady. I mean, don't they say that pets act like, and basically they become like their own, like their owners? And this lady happens to be a weirdo. Obviously, the dog is gonna act a little bit unhinged. And he's not doing anything that's unfamiliar or weird. He's just being a dog. Sleeping, staring at you from a distance, not wanting to roll in salt, which no dog wants to do, including me, even though I'm not a dog, you know what I mean? Lady's just weird. She's probably the skinwalker, because she doesn't know how to deal with pets. Send her to the shelter. She deserves it. Anyways, on to the next one.
YouTubers' houses before and after fame. Phase rug. Before. After. Mr. Beast. Before. After. Logan Paul. Before. After. PDP. Before. after
First thing first, how did this clip slip in my videos? This is not creepy or weird. What does other people's residences and households have to do with creepy videos? But to be honest, this is so weird and random that I'm gonna leave it in the video. I'm not gonna edit it out. Hopefully you enjoy looking at their garages. What do you want me to say? I don't know, it's probably good. Makes the video a little weirder and cringy than what it is usually. I'm cringy, to be honest, myself, so anyways.
Somebody tell Art the Clown to retire because there's a new clown in town. His name is Friendo. He's from the new movie Clown in the Cornfield, and he's pretty terrifying. And if you think it's going to be another funny clown movie, no, it's the same producers as Smile, and that movie had nothing to smile about. The movie takes place in a small Midwestern town, and something strange happens in this town when teenagers start to go missing one by one. I mean, they probably thought he wanted to be their friend because he does look like an Instagram influencer. I am going to show you a little bit of the trailer, which may give you nightmares, and you tell me if Friendo wants to be your friend or not.
Y'all know how I feel about them clowns. I don't care if they're clowns, dolls, werewolves, skinwalkers. Do I really have to name every single one of them? You get the point. Anything that looks like Pennywise or James the Clown, whatever his name is, burn it. Chucky, burn it. Ghost, shoot it. All of them. No, thank you. We don't do this over here. You agree? If you don't agree, you're a weirdo yourself. You're probably a clown. We never know. This is the internet. Welcome to the weirdness, I guess. What am I saying? Anyways.
The World Anti-Doping Agency is now looking into claims that Olympic athletes are injecting hyaluronic acid into their penises to enlarge them for a competitive advantage. Yeah, and similar to the accused athletes, this is becoming a bigger and bigger scandal by the day. Because when this was first reported by a German newspaper last month, it was kind of laughed off because of how ridiculous this sounds. They allege that skiers who need to stay in the air for as long as possible were trying to find ways of being given a larger suit. Because, and I'm not kidding, quote, every centimeter on a suit counts. And perhaps because some of these men have heard that saying one too many times, it sparked an alleged bright idea. Get some hyaluronic acid, which is not illegal, can increase penis circumference by a centimeter or two, and can last up to 18 months. And then when it's time to get 3D measured, which is a very precise procedure, you'll be given a suit with a few extra centimeters around the crotch. But as I said, fairly, most people laugh this off. But now, after a formal complaint was lodged and the Winter Olympics is officially kicked off, the World Anti-Doping Agency is now looking into it. Which also begs the question, is this considered doping? And if so, how will you, excuse the pun, measure if someone is cheated or not? Good luck on that one.
Imagine being one of them athletes, just sitting there one morning, I'm about to participate in the biggest skiing competition in the Olympics. I'm looking to gain some sort of advantage over my opponent so I can win this. How about I inject orange juice in my cock so my pee-pee grows? Maybe that will help me ski faster. I mean, I'm speechless. I can't believe I heard what I just heard. Injecting acid in their pee-pee. If anything, wouldn't that make you slower because it's heavier? I mean, I wouldn't know. I gotta shrimp myself. I'm just playing anyways. This is weird.
This is why you should never drink bubble tea. In 2019, a 19-year-old girl ordered bubble tea for the first time with her brother. They then decided to go for a little drive while she was sipping on her tea. But as she was drinking the bubble tea, she noticed that the pearls were hard to suck up. So she sucked even harder to get the pearls out from the bottom of the cup and into the straw. This caused multiple boba pearls to get stuck in her throat. Shortly after she started choking, her brother called the ambulance and she was rushed to the hospital. But after doing CPR and emergency surgery, she passed away.
I was about to make fun of them, to be honest, because how are you gonna get hurt with Boba tea, whatever it's called? Little balls of chocolate are gonna take you out. But once I heard that she passed away, I guess I'm not gonna make fun of it. It's unfortunate. I'm not insensitive, but it's weird. Like, it's still weird. Like, imagine, isn't it basically balls of chocolate and milk, whatever? I got a lot to say, but I'm not gonna do it out of respect. R.I.P.
Did you know that over 2,500 New York subway trains have been dumped in the Atlantic Ocean? Oh my God. This is part 200 and something of some of the worst submechanophobia things I've ever seen, and I did not know this, and I'm gonna go cry. This photo of it sinking in the ocean is going to haunt my nightmares. Why did they do this, might you ask? Why did they yote them into the ocean? Apparently it was to make artificial reefs for the fish. Excuse me, fish do not need subway trains. Fish have existed for millennia. New York subway trains have barely existed for 100 years. What reason would they want this? The autistic fish are loving it though. I can say that, I'm autistic. This is wrong. This is wrong, why would you do this? Also, what's growing on them? It looks like asbestos. It might actually be asbestos. Look at this little guy. He's probably like, what? I didn't do my job properly? Why have you forsaken me, mother? But yeah, no, this is gross. The submechanophobia inside of me is freaking out, and I do not like this photo whatsoever. And what do you mean there are 2,500 of them? I'm gonna have nightmares that I'm stuck in the Atlantic Ocean, and there are thousands of these down there now. Thank you so much.
Not to be mean or disrespectful, but this lady is irritating me a lot. Throw her in the ocean. She deserves it. Let her swim with the fish. That'll make her learn to respect these trains. Have some respect. What did the trains do to you? It's kind of, I mean, it sounds racist to be honest. You have something against fish? Let the fish swim. It's 2026. Freedom of speech. This is like the dumbest thing I ever said. I'm not gonna edit it out though. Judge me.
Is that people have spotted what appears to be floating cities. You gotta be shitting me, haven't you? What is this? Some people thinking this is hell or a gateway to the afterlife. Guys, calm down. This is what it is. Now, granted, this is pretty crazy. If you're in the middle of nowhere and you look in the clouds and see what looks like a load of buildings, you're gonna be like, bro, what is that? Now, this is actually known as a Fata Morgana mirage. Now, this only happens when conditions are literally perfect, which is why this is so rare and you don't see it much. Makes it look like things that are far away are doubled or even levitating. Very similar to how we get mirages in the desert and things like that, it's just like on an extreme level. Obviously, if there's a city in the far distance and the conditions literally line up perfectly, it's very, very rare, then you can actually get phenomenons like this, where you basically see the city that's miles away floating above your head.
Anyways, your video is now over. Like always, don't miss me too much. I'll always be back, and hopefully you weren't creeped out by them videos, because I was, and I don't know how to feel, to be honest. I'm probably gonna go to sleep. I'll see you on the next one, y'all. Peace out.